Hi, I'm Jason Hart with Mossy Oak. We are here in South Florida. We got lucky. We ended up harvesting some nice Osceola wild turkeys, and I'm gonna go over how to clean a turkey. Basically, we're gonna take the trophy parts off this turkey, the tail, the spurs, the beard, as well as the breast meat and the leg meat from this bird. We're not gonna mount this bird, but I'm gonna do a nice fan for the wall, display the beard and spurs with it. As well as for the meat, we're gonna use the breast as well as the legs. So, all right, so the first thing I do on a bird is I like to take the beard off. You can either cut it off or twist it off. Now I like twisting it off. You reach at the base and you pull it off, and it takes all the skin off of it. I do like to coat the beard with a little bit of borax, but that's the first step right there. Then I'll take the legs. And basically how you take a turkey's legs off, and what I'll do is I will make a ring around about 3/4 of the leg at the top. Then I'll take that leg and break it like that. Real easy. One little cut of the knife, and there you've got a leg to preserve. Now, you can use borax on the tip of it and dry it out, dip it in borax, or you can cut this off to utilize the just the spur section. Next up, I get the tail fan. And if you feel at the base of a tail fan, a lot of people ask me how to cut that tail fan off. I get on the edge of the tail fan and I feel the far feathers, the quills, and the base of the quills are like 2 knots. So I'll start my incision on one side and then go to the other. And then usually in the center of the tail fan, you might have to cut through a little bone. But it's as simple as coming apart like that. And there you've got the tail fan. And then what I'll do is when I'm in the field like I am now, I'll cut as many of the feathers off the backside and as much as the feathers, skin, and fat. Because the more you cut off now, the less you'll have to cut off when you're preparing. So you want to leave a little bit of meat on there, but not too much for when you're preparing a tail fan. So there you go, you can see the backside. I'll still take a knife and try to trim a little bit more. And you can also take like a wire brush to knock that down, but that's basically what the backside of the tail fan looks like. So what I'll do is a lot of times I won't get to, if I'm busy, I won't have the opportunity to dry my tail fan immediately. I'll have it in the freezer. So what I like to do is I take a plastic bag. The gallon size works really well for the breast, for the legs, for the beard and the spurs. And I'll keep it in there and I'll mark it with the date and the state I was hunting in. So at the end of the season, I can know which tail fans and which beard and spurs have. And if I have a tag, which you don't, in the state of Florida where we are, you don't need to tag your birds, but I'll keep the tag with that and or the breast meat. So next up, I'll breast the bird. Breast meat is without a doubt my favorite meat. It's a white meat. And what you do to breast the bird is you'll feel, if you put the bird on its back, you will feel a bone. That's the tip of the breastbone right here. And I like to start my incision there. I'll just spread the feathers a little bit and start a small incision right there. And what I'll do is I will get my fingers in that incision and I'll just pull and peel. Pull and peel. And a lot of times I'll pop the legs out of the joint down there, which makes it a little bit easier. Now you can see this bird, a couple of the pellets got in the breast right here, but I'll cut that out to make sure that when you're eating the bird, you don't get the pellets in your teeth. But you'll just cut a little section of any piece that's shot up. And then here at the breastbone that you can see, this is the top bony. I start by cutting around the edge of that, and then I'll just follow the breastplate down with my knife as close to the bone as I can possibly get. And I'll just cut down. The piece on the inside, a lot of people like to refer to as the tenderloin, is one of 2 pieces of the breast meat. And again, I'll cut as much meat as I can off the breastbone, and there you go. There's the tenderloin piece. And again, I try to cut as much meat as I can off the breastbone. And then you'll see here, this is the crop. This is where the turkey in its digestive process stores food. I try not to cut that, but sometimes you can cut it up to see what your turkeys have been eating locally. So you can see this one's crop is swelling up. And again, I'll cut as much of the breast meat as I can and try to leave as much yellow fat as I can. I'm gonna need to cut up a little bit when I prepare it. But basically, this is the piece of breast meat with a couple pellets in there. But again, before I prepare it, I like to run a metal detector over top of it so I can see in case if there's any. But you can see there the breast meat fits nicely inside the Ziploc bags. So next up, I spin the bird to the other side. And again, I follow the breastbone as far down as I can. Get the tenderloin out. Put it in with my other meat in a gallon Ziploc bag. Try to get as much of the breast meat as I can. And again, with TSS, there's so many pellets. You will occasionally get pellets in the breast meat, which again, I like to, before I prepare it, I'll clean all of the, any of the bloody parts off of it. And I like to run a metal detector just to keep your teeth good while you're eating. So next up are the legs. So the legs are a little trickier to get out than the breast meat. But what I'll do is skin as much as I can as far as the skin off the legs. I like to push it down and you'll see where the joint pops out. And then I cut as much meat from around that joint as possible. And on the legs, it's a little more cutting than it is to remove the breast as far as the skin's concerned. And the trick on cooking these legs is doing it low and slow. So I try to take as many feathers off of it as I can. And again, you can pull more of them off when you're preparing, but and here's what the leg looks like after you've gotten most of it off. Again, I'll clean some of these feathers off. There we go. It's a little bit nicer cleaned up right here. And you can do all this on the back of a tailgate. It's just really helpful when you've got a nice water supply like this little skinning area we have here. Here you can see where the leg joint connects to the body. You pop that out, and then I use that as my guide to cut as much meat around there as I can. And there you go. Here's the second leg removed. And again, we try to pull as many feathers off of it as we can, wash it, and again, you can put that in the freezer and take it out and finish cleaning again when it's time for preparation. And there you go, we have finished cleaning the bird. We have 2 turkey legs, 2 sides of turkey breast, a beard, and a tail fan. So we've utilized a lot off this turkey. Sometimes you can use the heart, the gizzard if you like. Personally, I don't. But basically, that's the main things you need to know to clean a wild turkey.